job he has done coming home to Louisville at 52 years old. 1 year in and already in a spot like this. Jesse Jack Plummer, 38th start of his career. To frame that against the true freshman, he's opposite. 6th season of college football in his 3rd program.
He's experienced, but Plummer's got some physical limitations, Joe. He doesn't have the strongest arm in college football, and his accuracy can be a bit up and down, but he makes really good decisions. He's really good at reading coverage. The ball goes where it's supposed to. He's got a very high football IQ. He's going to be under a lot of duress against this pass rush from Florida State tonight.
As a 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield flanking him in Gerard Jordan. And that is who will touch the ball first tonight, and only able to maybe get a half yard as he ran straight into Braden Fisk.
Well, obviously Louisville's going to come out trying to run the football. It's really their identity. And Florida State, we keep talking about the pass rush and how good they are with guys like Verse. You just saw Fisk a second ago. But they have struggled recently against the run, Joe. Games against Miami and Florida, they got gashed a little bit. Louisville's run game, they're going to try and put them to that test.
Transfer from Western Michigan.
He's made such an impact on this defense. We talk about Verse, we talk about Peyton, but you go inside here, just so much quickness. He's going to beat the center, Brian Hudson. This coaching staff and D coordinator Adam Fuller, they call him a ball of knives. He's been so disruptive all season long for the Seminoles.
Oh, he sliced right through that offensive line, and now it sets up a 3rd and 12, so watch out for Verse and Peyton. Here's the quick game, inside screen to Bell, and he is wrapped up immediately by Akeem Dent and Fisk. Fisk is so active early.
It sure is. They're obviously very aware of what's coming off the edge. So on the first 3rd down of the game, they try to get it out of Plummer's hands quickly, out into space on a screen, see if you can make a guy miss. But you're seeing the speed of this Florida State defense, sideline to sideline, and Braden Fisk, he came to play. He's rocking and rolling here early.
Brady Hodges on to punt to the All-ACC first-team specialist return man, Keon Coleman. And this is a line drive that takes a bounce and checks up just inside the 35-yard line. So America's wondering, who is this young man who's tasked with so much tonight? Brock Glenn. Well, he was a 4-star prospect. He was in the Elite 11. ESPN had him number 17 overall. And as Mike Norvell says, he's different than any freshman I've been around.
He's talented. There's not a lot of film on him, but when I've watched, he's got a live arm. He's a really good runner. His game reminds me a little bit more of Jordan Travis than it does Tate Rodemaker. But he can do a lot of different things to hurt you as a defense.
Welcome to the big time, young man. And they're going to let him pass on the first play, and he just has to work his way back to the line of scrimmage as he was brought down that time by the interior and big number 90 Lole. Second and 9. Quickly they get it to Coleman, and Coleman is met right away. So an active Louisville defense.
Well, you're seeing the way they're trying to play the true freshman quarterback. They're loading the box. They're going to try to stop the run and make the quarterback beat him. I think if you're Ron English, the D coordinator from Louisville, you're going to be pressuring him with blitzes. Find out if this young quarterback knows where his answers are with hots and side adjustments, and see if he can be poised after you hit him a couple times early in this game.
Third and 7. Pressure on Glenn, and he's taken down and absolutely smothered by Storm Duck.
Storm Duck, the transfer corner from UNC, is lined up over Ja'Kai Douglas off to the right side of the formation, and Brock Glenn never saw him. We talked about Ron English wanting to dial up pressure, see if you can light him up. And there's the corner pressure coming from the boundary. He uses his speed. That to see how this young true freshman can respond after taking that shot.
Glenn sacked on third down. Mastromano, talented punter. As he skies this down, and Coleman will call for the fair catch inside the 25. Louisville first drive, 3 plays, 3 yards. Plummer looks left, comes back right, now pressured by Payton and has to throw it away. Patrick Payton leads the nation. Batted down passes. He's been active down the stretch of this season.
Well, we've seen early in the play calling from offensive coordinator Brian Brom of Louisville. He's trying to change things up so that number 11 and number 5 from Florida State just can't pin their ears back expecting Plummer to be 8-9 yards behind center. You saw that quick screen on third down that time, trying to change the launch point. And they're just trying to give Florida State different looks here when throwing the football so that they're not too obvious.
Of course, all-time great Louisville quarterback himself. Plummer on second down, going to take a shot downfield, and off the fingertips of Callaway. Coverage came from Cypress.
And that's a play that the Tennessee transfer Jimmy Callaway just has to make. You're going to see a lot of press man coverage when you're playing against Florida State. He beat Fentrell Cypress. That ball hits him right in the hands. Nice job by Plummer putting air under that. You're not going to get a lot of chances to hit home runs against this defense, against that pass rush. But when those opportunities present themselves, Joe, you got to hit them.
Third and 10. Pressure straight ahead. Plummer stays alive for the moment. Extends the play, but cannot connect with his tight end, Gatewood.
It was a great effort that time by Plummer. He was evading Deloach. He was evading Patrick Payton in the backfield and was able to extend it, but better coverage on the back end by Florida State here. Nice job of keeping your focus. He's able to step up. Thinks he has a completion over the middle of the field. But Akeem Dennett, safety, breaking on the ball clean. Now setting up the punt.
Second straight, 3 and out. Dangerous Keon Coleman. And he will secure it near the 31-yard line. Here's Hill trying to find some room, but he is pushed back immediately by Storm Duck, who had the sack earlier.
You know, guys, as Brock Glenn came off the field after that first series, he was greeted by Jordan Travis, who's on the sidelines tonight on crutches. Jordan Travis's eyes got real big, and he said, first drive. Both players laughed about it. Just got to get your feet wet, buddy.
That's a great guy, though, and as a resource to have on the sideline. Imagine being a true freshman quarterback. You get to go talk to the school's statistically greatest quarterbacks ever.
Here's Coleman. Coleman trying to reverse field, and Benson out in front blocking for him. As Coleman finally, the pursuit finds him after a gain of just 2. It was Cam Kelly who came all the way in from that deep safety position.
Well, the Noles got to find a way to get one of their best players the football more. Coleman all year long has been making plays, but in these last 2 games, he only has 4 catches. Here, a quick screen and a great job in pursuit and effort by Louisville's defense, chasing him down and now setting up a critical third. On the last third down, they brought the corner blitz. They got a sack on the true freshman quarterback. What does D coordinator Ron English have dialed up here?
Third down and 7. Toafili goes nowhere. So they just hand off to Lawrence Toafili, and that is now the second straight 3 and out for this Florida State offense.
Gilbert Frierson, it plays on third down, and he just did a really nice job that time, kind of getting through the wash at the line of scrimmage. Here he is right here, and he's just going to kind of work through some linemen. You got a tight end coming back across, and no one picks him up, and he's able to make the play. A very conservative play call that time by Florida State on third down, and now Louisville set up to regain possession.
Mastromano is 4th nationally in net punting. And Coleman with the fair catch at the 29. Jordan looking for a seam, and he finds it. Jawar Jordan. And will that set a spark for Louisville as Akeem Dent finally ran him down?
Well, they got a key block by Nate Kariski at tight end on Kalen DeLoach out here. That kind of opens up the space for Jordan to get to the outside. He's the shiftier running back in their backfield that likes to bounce it, averaging 6.4 yards a carry, second in the conference. And finally, Louisville now doing what they want to do. This is their identity, running the ball.
He's been dealing with a hamstring injury throughout the season. He was so explosive earlier this year. Play action. Jack Plummer with time to wind up and take a shot. And it is incomplete as Chris Bell was waiting for it, and Jones and Green were there defensively.
Well, the successful run the play before prompts Brian Brom to go play action to see if he can freeze the secondary. And there they go with Chris Bell at 6'2", 225. He's getting behind the defense. Jack Plummer just had to put a little bit more on that ball to get it out in front of him. They miss another opportunity, Joe. That's 2 shots they've taken here in the first quarter. They had a drop on the last drive by Callaway, and that one an inaccurate throw by Plummer.
Jordan on second down as he is met and driven back by Dent. Mentioned all the experience of Jack Plummer, his 6th season of college football. Tonight his 38th start, and then the story of Brock Glenn that has come about in the last 24 hours, who was 3rd string for most of the year with limited reps behind the superstar Jordan Travis, and then Tater Rodemaker, who is out tonight. Third and 7. Plummer backed up and taken down by Jared Verse, his 8th sack of the season.
Florida State's running a game. They've got Fitz going right up the field, trying to get a pick on left tackle Willie Tyler, and then Verse is able to switch inside and use his speed. So it's coming here, and they're looping it around, and it's Verse that's going to make a play. Statistically, he may not be having the same year he had a year ago, Joe, but I'd argue he's a better player because he's more consistent. And after a 2.5 sack performance last week, a career high against the Gators, he's already off to a big one here.
Brady Hodges already his 3rd punt of the evening. And it is short, but it takes a heck of a bounce for the Cards. This thing dribbling inside the 10-yard line.
He was predicted to be a first-round pick last year. They were surprised he came back, but it was no doubt the right decision.
Benson just a half a yard there as Alderman with the run fit and tackle.
You know, I think the good news, if you're Louisville and you're seeing your defense, they're playing with energy, Joe. And you had to kind of wonder about the confidence coming into the game. The last 3 games now, they've been giving up over 400 total yards per contest, and they're not playing to their standard, but the energy just seems different early in this one.
I think that loss to Kentucky last week put a fire into them. There were sloppy moments, right? The 100-yard kick return, the fumble on the scramble. They know that was there for the taking. Brock Glenn, sprint right, looking for an option. Traffic coming in, as is the boundary, as he just runs out that time with Puryear chasing him.
Well, they're trying to give him an easy read. Move the pocket, you're going to throw it to a guy, and if he's not there, you got to throw it away. But there you're seeing the inexperience of Brock Glenn. As he's getting out to the right, nobody's open. You can't just run out of bounds and take a big loss. At this point right here, just chuck it way over Keon Coleman's head and save the yardage. Now, 3rd and long, backed up. You got to be really careful if you're Mike Norvell with your play call here.
With a guy who has 11 sacks coming off the edge, Ashton Gelati. 3rd and 13. Glenn gets it out quickly to Coleman. Coleman trying to slither his way for anything, and he's met at the 13-yard line. You see him grabbing his ribs at the end of that play as Devin Neal was in on the tackle.
Really impressed with both of these defenses so far. They are setting the tone. It's a slugfest right now, and they're really dictating to the opposing offense, I think, on both sides of the field. Mastromano from a yard in his end zone could be prime field position
if Kevin Coleman gets a chance at the return. Mastromano has 8 punts over 50 yards this year as he knuckles this and gets the fair catch out of Coleman. We've had 6 combined punts so far. Garendo tackled for a loss. Left side of that line was all over him, led by DJ Lundy, the active linebacker.
Well, that time, Jack Plummer saw the safety, Akeem Dent, come down into the box to the left-hand side, so he audibled and decided to run it the other way. But Florida State right now, really good and really physical at the point of attack. Florida State likes to insert DBs into the box, add people to the count. It's going to make it harder for Louisville to run in this one.
On 2nd and 12. Single coverage downfield as he was trying to find Chris Bell, taking a few deep shots early.
Listen,
Thomas was their defense.
It's a defense, Joe, that just challenges your quarterback, right? Because they play man coverage and they've got that pass rush. They're forcing you to have to throw the ball into small windows under a lot of duress. And that's why opposing quarterbacks are only completing 47% of their passes. It's the lowest in the country. And on 3rd down like this is where we said Louisville had to avoid because of number 5 on one side and number 11 on the other. The average needed for Louisville on 3rd down in this game, Joe, is over 10 yards.
And that is not good when Verse and Payton are the edge rushers opposite you. Plummer does get time now. And he pumps again to get past Payton and then tiptoes his way trying to make the most of it out to midfield.
And this is a phenomenal effort by Patrick Payton because Jeff Brom sets this thing up and he puts the running back over to Payton's side right here. And they're going to try to chip him and slow him down, and still he's able to somehow get around it and pursue the football and force Plummer to get out of bounds. That's outstanding effort that time by last year's ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year.
This is 4th down. They've converted 61% of their 4th down attempts this season. Play action off of it. Plummer hides it behind the back, and it's batted. He was trying to get it to Lipson, the tight end, but DeLoach was right in there on him.
And that is a phenomenal effort, one-on-one, by Kalen DeLoach. What athleticism at linebacker, 6'1", 212, and he had to fight through 2 different blockers and then jump up in the air to swat that one down. Joe, if he doesn't bat it, it is going to be an explosive play for Louisville. There's a deep, hard sell. You see Verse coming in, but how about DeLoach knocking that one away? Otherwise, Louisville would be in business right now offensively.
This is a guy in DeLoach who has made a few plays like that this year. Had a big one on a blitz against Clemson and a scoop and score. And now prime field position for Glenn in this offense. Let's see what they do with it as Trey Benson doesn't find much room on the inside. That was clogged up with Destel and Riger.
Yeah, they got to get Benson going, no doubt. He's the total package at running back, 6'1", 225. He can break tackles, make people miss. He's got home run hitting ability. And we talked about how other players would have to elevate around the true freshman quarterback, Brock Glenn. I think number 3 for Florida State's got to have a big one.
This is their first time in Louisville territory, but it's because of the defense, not the offense. Benson taken down at the line of scrimmage yet again. They are all over the run. Jermaine Lole with the tackle.
And I wonder if Mike Norvell now has the confidence in Brock Glenn to throw something vertically down the field. We really haven't seen him do that too much yet. It's been a lot of quick screens out to the perimeter, but this is a situation well, you might have to push it now. You're going to have to give him time and trust a 6'7" receiver in Johnny Wilson on one side and a 6'4" Keon Coleman to win their matchups.
Norvell told us the other day he's got a great arm. He can make all the throws. Let's see if he allows him that opportunity. Third and 8. Glenn with time drives the ball over the middle into the ground in front of Ja'Kai Douglas.
Well, that time Cameron Wilson just walked a Florida State tackle. It was Jeremiah Byers right into the lap, and I think that affected Brock Glenn. I don't think he felt like he could really step up in this throw. I think that affected the accuracy. Just threw a sinker over the middle of the field.
Fourth straight 3 and out.
It's a missed opportunity too, Joe, after getting the stop on 4th down.
Now Stramano just trying to position this inside the 20, and it goes out. Now his defense heard the let's go. His offense is trying to find themselves with a new quarterback. And Jawar Jordan goes straight ahead, and he's met by Dent again.
Well, Joe, you heard Mike Norvell saying you're built for it, and he's right. Outside of that guy right there, Brock Glenn, every starter on this Florida State team is a junior or senior. They've got tremendous experience. They've played in big games, and that helps them in critical moments overcome adversity. This is just one of those games that just feels like they're going to have to be able to do that again.
This is Coleman. And he's driven down on 2nd and 8 by Lundy. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
It's one of the hardest things, I think, about stopping this Louisville rushing attack, Joe. They've got so many schemes running the ball. There's zone schemes, they pull guys, there's jet sweeps, there's quarterback run, speed option, I formation.
Championships today. Watching this game now with great interest. 3rd and 2, Plummer. Goes to the outside, incomplete, too far to the outside of Jimmy Callaway.
There's just never anybody wide open. Fentrell Cypress did a great job there on the double move. The guy's faking like he's going to the slant, puts his foot in the ground and runs back out. And they've had so many impactful portal additions. Fentrell Cypress was a second-team All-ACC player for Virginia a year ago. And life right now on Jack Plummer. The pass rush in the secondary, they are making it very hard on him.
Brady Hodges, who took over as the team's starting punter the last 5 games, he's going to have a sore leg at the end of this first quarter. His 4th punt of the night. Coleman is driven back, and the fair catch around the 22-yard line.
As you would have liked to.
Here they go with the screen game as he's able to get it to Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson, the big 6'7", supreme athlete, but they converge on him for a gain of 2. It was Devin Neal again.
And Louisville right now just feels like with every possession, they're gaining more and more confidence. And how big would a turnover be for the Cardinals here in this game? To be able to get it back, the field position, the turnovers, considering how good these defenses are playing, is going to be a factor.
And that is the end of the first quarter. A punt fest. There were only 37 total yards. Just had the second scoreless first quarter in ACC Championship game history. By the way, Florida State was involved in the other one against Duke, and they ended up scoring 45 points in that game.
Well, they had Jameis Winston at quarterback.
That's a little different than what we're seeing here. Yeah. 2nd and 8. As Benson gets the work, and they're waiting on him time and again. Moments ago, Katie caught up with Coach.
Coach Brom, defensive first quarter, you were having a conversation with Jack Plummer as he came off the field. What were you telling him?
Well, I think we missed a couple deep shots. Really, one we dropped, one we underthrew. So we got to hit those, and then they're going to cover us. They're good defense. They're going to stop the run. We got to be able to step up, and he's not there. He's got to be able to run the ball, and mix it with his feet. But just got to hang in there, keep taking care of the ball. We just got to find ways to create plays.
Thank you.
3rd down and 7. Brock Glenn with time, and there's the flag as he was looking for big Johnny Wilson.
I think they're going to get the Florida State transfer, Jarvis Brownlee, in the back end.
Interference. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's the problem when you're going up against Johnny Wilson. He's 6'7". I mean, it's just so hard to physically match up with him. And every DB is so afraid he's going to run down the field and try to high point the football. You see the release, there's some tugging, there's some pulling. You know, it looked like a bit of a push off there at the end by Johnny Wilson, but, you know, I think there was more on the end of Jarvis Brownlee, and that gives Florida State a fresh set of downs.
They'll take it any way they can get it right now. Here's Hill. And Hill able to keep his balance for just a moment. Ron English is the defensive coordinator for Louisville. You see him there. He's a semifinalist for the Boyles Award. #1 run defense in the ACC, Jesse.
Well, and they change up their fronts. They challenge you. They play a bear front sometimes where they basically line up a defender over every offensive lineman, making it very hard to get double teams.
Glenn is split out. And Toafili is in the backfield. And Toafili is wiggling his way for that line to gain, and he gets it out to the 45-yard line, met by Destel there.
Yeah, it's nice patience there because you got Dimitri Emanuel at left guard, and he's going to be pulling, and you sort of have to let the block set itself up. There's a little wrinkle there with the Wildcat look, getting better numbers in the blocking game.
And now some tempo. And Glenn's going to pass. And the freshman extending the play, pumping, tucking, running. And you talk about not wanting to take a hit and how they utilize him. He didn't slide there.
Yeah, he's got to know to take care of himself and to get down when he gets outside. They need him in this game, and I understand he wants to make every play, but that's a big shot here in the second quarter for the true freshman quarterback. He can't take too many more of those.
250-pound Mason Reiger was tracking him down at the end of that play. A run for 7 yards. They split him out again. So now they're looking to make the change-up and find this offensive gear any way they can. Toafili with the direct snap, playing Wildcat. Campbell in the backfield with him on 2nd and 3. Searching for a lane and finding it for another first down.
Yeah, again, more patient running. And they're pulling linemen that time to guard and tackle from the backside, getting more blockers at the point of attack. Now, it was hard for them just to run it conservatively earlier before, but now pulling these two guys backside, you fake the handoff, and this has probably been the best looking their offense has been so far in this game. It's been the Wildcat.
Glenn. He's going to run straight ahead. This time he does slide, and a flag does come in at the end there. And could this be targeting based on what you just saw?
Yeah, Quincy Riley kind of came in late for Louisville's defense. I think Ashton Gelati was there as well. That time, good job getting down and sliding, right? That's a good sign if you're Florida State. Your young guy is learning.
After the play, personal foul on Mr. Ruffner's defense, number 9. 59 points reality in the run. First down.
Now, you know, I thought you might hear targeting there based on the question of forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless opponent, which Brock Glenn was in that situation there going to the ground.
Let's bring in our rules expert, Matt Austin. What do you say?
Well, this is a close one. He does come in. He gets it. Looks like there's contact to the shoulder, but it looks like his head does get into the head of the quarterback a little bit. So this could be an interesting call if they stop the game.
First down for Florida State at the 24-yard line of Louisville. A little bit of everything to advance the ball.
Plays under further review for potential targeting.
Matt, let's stick with you here. What's the procedure? Take us through it as they review this for targeting.
Well, it's a sliding quarterback, so obviously he is a defensive player. So now what you have to have is an attack with forcible contact to the head or neck area. I think you do have an attack. He is coming in trying to deliver a blow. He does make contact to the head. So by textbook, I think this is targeting, but it's not the toughest or the hardest hit I've ever seen. But I think by rule, it's a target.
You know, it's tough, too, because Ashton Gelati's hitting him from behind, which actually forces Brock Glenn's head to go down. I don't think the intent from Quincy Riley coming in was to hit him in the head. I think he was actually trying to go lower than that to hit him in the chest, but I think it was the contact from behind right there that forces his head to dip like that. And that's where the forcible contact comes in by Quincy Riley. If it is, in fact, targeting on Quincy Riley and he's forced to miss the rest of the game, guys, that's a big loss for this Louisville defense because he is their best corner.
Critical moments, it's been Quincy Riley.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. Over the late hit from Mr. Ruffus, which will be enforced. First down.
So to your point, very fortunate for Louisville that he stays in.
That's a big win for Louisville's defense.
Play action. Glenn was chased down from behind by Heron and then threw the ball away.
There's another bear look by Louisville. Everybody is covered one-on-one, and they're trying to pull this guy to get this rush off the edge, and it's just too slow. It's too slow developing to deal with the speed by Louisville. That time, Stephen Heron, who missed their game last week against Kentucky to Stanford transfer, making a nice play in the backfield.
Young man from Covington, Tennessee. He came in with only 4 college passes. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush against the freshman. Glenn with traffic right in his face, and he threw it into all of it.
Man, he had Heron that time, bearing down on him again from the backside. He's lucky that ball didn't get stripped out of his hand for a fumble. On the inside, it was Jared Dawson who was able to get in front of that and knock this one down. But watch Heron here on the outside. If he got his arm out there, that was barely stripped.
Threw it right into the helmet of Dawson.
Wow.
Brock Glenn thrown the ball 7 times, 12 yards, been sacked twice.
Joe, it's a big moment now for the young quarterback because you're in field goal range, right? This is a defensive struggle. Points obviously are going to be at a premium. They're not going to be easy to come by. So you cannot take a negative play here. You can't take a sack. Obviously, you can't force it into coverage. If it's not there, just run, get what you can get, or throw this thing away.
Now, 3 points are going to be very valuable tonight. The way these defenses are playing and the limitations with the quarterbacks. Oh, he snapped it right into him as he was walking to the line. And think about the lack of reps and communication with the #1 offensive line as Maurice Smith, the veteran center, just snapped it as the freshman quarterback was walking forward.
A great point, Joe. It's the simple things you take for granted and execution, just getting plays called and getting them snapped properly. It looked like Glenn wanted to go to the line of scrimmage and change the play, change the protection, and I don't think Maurice Smith was expecting that. They narrowly avoided disaster again.
So Fitzgerald comes on for the 45-yard attempt. And a breakthrough moment here tonight. We have points. Spent 11 plays. Their first 4 drives combined for 12 points. Off the bounce at the 11-yard line, Garendo. A stretch there, only gave up 48 yards in the last 30 minutes of that game for the Gators. There's the read by Plummer, and he's going to lose a yard. That entire defensive line with big Braden Fisk converging on him.
It's perfect zone read defense that time by Florida State because you got somebody taking the running back here inside, and then Bethune at linebacker is replacing it, so he's in place to take Plummer on the zone read. They're very, very sound and well-coached defense. Not just Adam Fuller, but his entire staff.
Second and 11. Plummer doesn't have anywhere to go.
Well, you're trying to move the pocket. You're trying to get running backs and tight ends to chip, and just nothing seems to be working right now for Jeff Brom calling plays for this Louisville offense. And here you are again in another 3rd and long situation. And this is when Florida State's defense, they're like sharks that smell blood in the water. This is where number 5 right there, Jared Verse, these guys are just going to pin their ears back, use their speed and athleticism to get upfield.
We don't have a 3rd down conversion in this game. 3rd and 11. Safety blitz as he sets up the screen to Jordan. Blockers in front. Jordan's got the first down and then goes high, hurtling up and away right over Greedy Vance.
Well, Shyheim Brown's coming on a safety blitz right here, and this offensive line is just going to invite the pass rush up the field. This is a perfect play call by Jeff Brom. Throwing the screen, you've got some linemen out in front of Jordan, and he can go to work. And then the hurdle, you're always expecting DBs to go low, right?
18 yards there from Jordan. And good leg drive now from Jawar Jordan as he finds his way to midfield right through Tatum Bethune.
He does a good job of running with power. He's 5'10", 180 pounds, but stronger than you think. And he's able to kind of get himself and squeeze himself into very small areas. It's been so impressive watching him play this year. He's a first-team all-conference running back. Syracuse transfer, man. He's shown up time and time again for Louisville's offense.
He went for 143 on that magical night against Notre Dame back in October. Had a 45-yard and 21-yard touchdown run. Nothing happening there as Bethune makes up for it with a tackle down the line. He's second on the team in tackles.
So we get another third down situation, but this time, Joe, finally it's manageable.
That's right.
I mean, Jeff Brom's playbook right now is wide open to really try a lot of different things. Running the football is not out of the element here, and because of that, you wonder if Florida State's going to still want to blitz. They've been doing it on third down, but this is one they may play a little bit more vanilla.
3rd and 3. Plummer to pass on 3rd and 3. Shallow cross is incomplete. Chris Bell had a defender trailing and one coming in front. And there you see Jerrion Jones, who leads the team in picks.
And that was a really nice job by him in the slot, kind of fighting through the wash. They're trying to set picks and screens and make it difficult to follow the receiver, but he was able to do it. Watch this right here. He's just able to kind of come down. He's able to avoid his own teammate. That was Tatum Bethune at linebacker and still get in. It's just been that kind of game for Jack Plummer so far, Joe. Just 2 of 11 throwing so far.
We had our first third down conversion of the game, but still another visit from Brady Hodges. His 5th punt, looking to pin inside the 10. Knowles trying to stay undefeated, trying to do so with the guy who's been their number 3 quarterback all season long, Brock Glenn. First start of his college career. Benson somehow stayed alive and got out of the tackle of Quinn for a moment.
Guys, starting center Maurice Smith briefly spoke with Brock Glenn after the miscommunication on the snap. It's worth noting Smith was a game-time decision tonight. He got rolled up at Florida last Saturday, limped his way through. He had some hurdles to overcome this week to get healthy enough to play in tonight's game. Makes you wonder how many reps the two got together this week in practice.
Well, even throughout the year, of course.
They've had major injury issues up front on this offensive line all year, Katie. 5 different starting lineups in the season.
And Katie, it's a very good point in terms of how much work Smith and Glenn have been able to get, if at all. 2nd and 7. Benson straight ahead. Good run. It'll be 3rd and short from here as Minkins was in on the tackle along with Brownlee.
And it's such a challenge calling the game, right, if you're Mike Norvell with Brock Glenn in, because you're just trying to simplify things for him, and you just want to call plays that he's going to leave on and run, regardless of what the front is, regardless of what the coverage is or what the personnel is. If Louisville's the test, you want to give Brock Glenn yes or no answers, not multiple choice, but to do that, you got to limit your play sheet so much. It's so different than when Jordan Travis is out on the field.
Florida State is looking for their first down. We have 6.5 minutes to play until halftime, and that is it right there with Benson.
Well, and we've been watching Brock Glenn early in this game. He's done some good things. He's also shown his inexperience. Early in the game here, there's nothing open downfield. You got to throw this one away, not run out of bounds. Protection hasn't always been great. Wasn't able to step up on that 3rd down play. And then we saw the communication error that Katie was just talking about with center Maurice Smith. Mike Norvell just looking at that play card. He's trying to think, what concepts does my young quarterback feel comfortable with?
He's going to run the ball here. Quarterback run, and he slides and just get down in time before Minkins arrives.
I mean, and I like the play call, honestly. I understand you want to protect him, but you've got to win this game first and foremost.
You got
everything that's on the line. You got a playoff potentially on the line, and your young quarterback's been showing you now. He's learning this whole sliding thing. The last 2 times he's been able to get down, but wildcat runs and quarterback runs, that could pay big dividends for Mike Norvell as this game goes on.
Play action off of this. Takes a shot and gets it. Oh, that should have been caught from Coleman. The one time when Glenn has a pitch and catch, and it's Keon Coleman who can't secure it.
Man, they fake the quarterback run. That throws everybody in the secondary for Louisville. And Keon Coleman, with his frame and his body control, he's got to make that catch. Brock Glenn paid for it, too. Big shot off the edge by Jared Dawson.
And Jordan Travis says that was there.
Oh.
3rd and 6. Sold it well after the first quarterback run. And now a timeout is going to be used by Mike Norvell and the Noles.
That bare front again, covering up, and they shift out of it to an even front.
Glenn on 3rd and 6. Gets it to the outside, and it's caught by Wilson. And Johnny Wilson at 6'7", stretching out and getting the first down for Florida State.
And a fantastic job by Glenn, seeing the matchup he wants. 6'7" with long arms. Really good coverage by Florida State transfer Jarvis Brownlee, but there's no defense for a perfect throw. You're putting it on his back shoulder. That's a great sign for Florida State's offense on a big 3rd down conversion.
Longest play of the game for the Noles, 19 yards. Toafili trying to work behind his tight end, Kyle Morlock, as he goes for 5.5.
I think it's completions like on that last play, Joe, if you're Brock Glenn. It's just even little things like that. 3rd down conversions, that just helps your confidence. Remember, he's seeing so many things for the first time. He only had 4 pass attempts on the entire year coming into this one, so he's literally learning on the fly. He's going up against a really good Louisville defense.
Came in last week in that 4th quarter at Florida when Rodemaker was knocked out of the game for a few plays. Now get this major assignment. Toafili can't find anything on that right side as he's tackled for a 1-yard loss by Alderman.
All right, if you're Louisville on defense now, another 3rd down, you got to be thinking, we're going to lock up, we're going to have big targets. Johnny Wilson coming back over now to the left side of the formation where he was in the last play. He's going to be lined up against Jarvis Brownlee, one-on-one, and because Glenn had the success in the last 3rd down, is he going to go back to the single receiver side here again to number 14?
Bunch to the top, Big Wilson to the bottom of your screen. 3rd and 6, and now they bring Coleman over to the slot on the near side as the number 2 receiver there. Glenn going to take a shot downfield, wants all of it, and nearly got it from Coleman, but he was juggling the ball as he strided out.
Joe, I think if he had caught it the first time, I think that would have been a completion, but there was a little bit of a bobble right at the end of this. Glenn gave him a chance to locate it. He did. If it sticks there, that's going to be a catch, but there's a bobble, and nice coverage on the back end by Quincy Riley.
Listen, it would have been a spectacular stab by Coleman, but to your point, that foot would have been down if he secured it immediately. Of course, Coleman had the drop earlier. That was an easy one. 4th and 6, Mastromato taking his time, rolling his 5th punt already of this first half. Fair catch at the 8-yard line by Coleman. They head off to the SEC, and then Alabama breaking through against Georgia, snapping that win streak in an absolute thriller to win the SEC Championship. Plummer trying to get the ball out to that line to gain, and does so to Jamari Thrash.
That was really nice. Really nice with the location on the throw. Thrash doing a nice job on the curl, coming back to the ball, and then Plummer putting it where only he could make the catch. Did he make the catch?
Well, the arms are underneath the ball.
It looked like he did to me.
Garendo straight ahead, and he can only get a yard against Fabian Lovett at 320 pounds.
You're not seeing a lot of Louisville receivers separate so far in the passing game. They only had 23 passing yards before that completion of Crash. So I think you got to start doing some things. You got to start getting guys in motion. You got to start stack releasing receivers, trying to get some access and some space so that you could work downfield against this Florida State secondary.
It's elite talent on that Florida State defense, and they know their task tonight with the limitations of their offense. 2nd and 8, play action. Plummer with time, quick to the outside. His man was bottled up that time as Thomas had coverage on Callaway.
Yeah, that was tight. They were trying to go back to another pivot route. That time in the back end, Azarie Thomas there. You see him, he's working the comeback, and there's a bit of a tug. That to me, that's got to be defensive holding or PI.
And watch on the shoulder. You could see it clearly as Thomas, our rules expert Matt Austin, giving us the nod, saying, I agree. But instead, it's a 3rd and 8. Plummer just 3 of 13 passing against the Noles tonight. 3rd and 8, 4-man rush. And he cannot navigate any space in the pocket, and he is sacked as it was First and Fisk getting Plummer.
And they're working that same game that they worked earlier in the game when they got a sack. So this time it's Verse going inside and it's Fisk coming around the outside. And I know, again, we talk a lot about Verse. We talk a lot about Peyton, but Braden Fisk, the Western Michigan transfer, has had such an impact on this defense. Against the run, he's a guy that's going to play on Sundays.
Jesse may be playing quarterback. Who knows?
Jesse can sling it. Back to you, Tess.
Well, this is a knuckler of a punt by Hodges. Came off the foot wrong as Brady Hodges was quickly trying to get it off. As that only goes for 24 yards. Watch Hodges. That's off the side of the foot.
Yeah.
Didn't get big on big. You want big on big. The bottom of it's a great field position from the 38 of Louisville after the bad punt. Glenn trying to set up the screen to Benson. Blockers in front, and here goes Trey. And it's a 1st down for Florida State.
Well, it's a really nice play design here because you're faking the receiver screen over to the left, and then you're sneaking Lyman out this way, getting him in behind. There's going to be the pump fake left, trying to get the fast flow from Louisville, and then throw the screen back. High percentage, give your quarterback an easy decision.
Benson straight ahead, taking a defender for a ride for a couple yards, and Stephen Herron.
It's a big moment for Louisville's defense, too. Can they just hang on, right? They've played so well up to this point with their backs against the wall now down in the red zone, where they've been so good all year. They've got to be big. Zero blitz look here.
Glenn looks right. And then he is taken down back at the 29-yard line. That was Alderman breaking through.
Yeah, Ron English is not going to sit back and be patient calling plays defensively. He is trying to light the true freshman quarterback up, and that time Herron was able to get home around the outside. They brought a linebacker blitz, which blowed up the running back as well. And they're just trying to dictate to Brock Glenn at this point, forcing him to know where his answers are in the Hots and Sight game, and it's been difficult so far.
TJ Quinn, the starting linebacker for Louisville, was slow to get up. Let's see if they come after the true freshman. 3rd and 12. Glenn. Oh, and he nearly takes the sack before throwing it away. And as they're looking to see, was there a receiver in the vicinity? And they're coming in and counseling, led by referee Mike Roach, heading up this ACC prime team. He says there was a receiver in the area as Jeff Clark was trying to get to him.
Well, that time it wasn't a blitz. They showed it, but they were running a bunch of stunts up front. And it was Jeff Clark that was able to get home and get the hit. Really good pressure these last several plays by Louisville's defense, now setting up a long field goal.
Ryan Fitzgerald made from 45 earlier. This from 45 now. And he misses it. Jeff Brom's team dodges that one. That was a golden opportunity for Florida State with that field position before halftime.
Joe, you can't say enough about Louisville's defense. You just had a bad punt. You give them the football in midfield in great field position, as you mentioned, and you're able to step up and make some plays. It looked like Florida State was driving. You create some negative plays and set up a long field goal here.
No doubt. Could win this football game with the limitations of these offenses that we're seeing tonight and the exceptional defensive play. Plummer, he's being chased again as he has to dump it. Ball is out! And Jordan falls back on it. Jawar Jordan took a big hit that time. Ball came out. but he jumps on it and recovers it.
Very lucky. Azaria Thomas was the one who popped it free, and then Akeem Dent looked like he was going to pounce on it at safety. You know, I'm curious. I was going to say, I'm a little surprised at how aggressive Louisville is being here on offense. Instead of maybe just trying to play to go into halftime down 3-0 based on how well your defense is. But against this pass rush, you got to be careful.
Jordan straight ahead. Good run from Jordan. It may be coming back as that penalty flag was called in the area of holding as Fabian Lovett, the defensive tackle for Florida State, is signaling
it's going to be a hold on Brian Hudson, their center, an award-winning center who's got his hands full in this game.
Yeah, Brian Hudson, who won the ACC's Jacobs blocking trophy for the most outstanding blocker in the conference.
Couldn't get it done against Fabian Lovett.
Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty. Second down. Louisville takes its second time out of the half.
Louisville's going to take a timeout with 3 seconds remaining in this incredibly painful offensive first half.
Second half is going to be the team that runs the ball the best, takes care of the ball the best, and makes a play in special teams.
So I know there are those who say, hey, the eye test, who's the best team? Boy, this Florida State offense with the number 3 quarterback is struggling. But the defense is playing at a college football playoff level for sure.
As Coach Norvell, how would you assess Brock Glenn and your offense's play so far?
Well, obviously we need to be able to get in a rhythm. We've missed a couple opportunities. He's doing a good job. We're owning the football. Obviously got to put together some drives and finish in the end zone.
As you iron out your offense, how pivotal is your defense's performance thus far?
Well, they're doing a great job and really keeping Louisville off balance. And I think they're obviously being very impactful, stopping the run and negating the things in the passing game. But we got 30 more minutes to go. We got to continue to get better.
Thank you.
For the committee, Joe, no doubt it wouldn't hurt Florida State to score a few more points here. I think style points are starting to matter a little bit more if you're the Seminoles.
Yep, Alabama has the best win in the season. This is a simple win and you're in for Florida State. Brock Glenn pitches it out to Coleman. Coleman takes an in-cut and gets 9 yards on the play.
It's a little backyard ball by Brock Glenn there in a zone read with an attachment. Normally you would actually just throw that conventionally. He just pitched it out like a triple option. Fake the handoff to Benson, get to the outside. Safety's taking it away. He makes the right decision, getting it to Coleman. That's a good start to this drive.
First career college start. Came into this game having thrown only 4 passes. He was 7 of 13 in the first half. Glenn extending the play. Could be a holding as he runs the ball and runs it well at past midfield before he slides down, but most likely we're walking it back.
Yeah, it's going to be Keandre Jones playing at right guard. That's an easy call.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
I think he's working against Jermaine Lole right here in the middle. You'll just see him just kind of grab him with his right arm right there in the jersey, and that's just too easy.
Of course, Florida State trying to play a mistake-free game because of the situation with limitations of offense. They had no penalties in that first half. That's the first.
But it's a good point, too, Joe. All year long, not turning it over is critical to their success. They've only given it away 5 times all season. That's the least in the nation. And that's got to continue here in the second half if they're going to win this game.
Win and we're in, it reads. But there's a lot of chatter elsewhere in college football tonight. 2nd and 11. Try to set up the screen. Does so with Benson, who stiff arms his way for making the most of it past Gelati.
Yeah, but Alderman at linebacker made a really nice play kind of sniffing that out. And I think this is Ron English and Louisville's defense now expecting high percentage throws, screens, things that are easy for Brock Glenn to compete, and they're playing downhill. They're a little bit more aware of it at the line of scrimmage, and here's a massive 3rd and long situation. There's a blitz look again.
3rd down and 9. Glenn to the outside. Wilson cannot hold on to it.
It was the right decision. At the end of the second quarter, they converted a 3rd down on a play just like that. The throw was a little bit low. That time going to Johnny Wilson. Louisville changed up its coverage pattern. That time Storm Duck was out there one-on-one. He did a great job against the 6'7" target. That's a good first series for Louisville's defense.
Offset formation for Mastromano and the punt team. And they will snap out of that as he will kick to that coverage side. Didn't get it outside the hash, but great downfield coverage that time.
Virtually none of that early for what's been mostly a stationary offense.
Plummer, as Verse tracks him down.
No, you're just not going to outrun him with Jack Plummer. He's not Lamar Jackson, obviously, and they try to run him a little bit to force you to honor him, but you're not going to outrun a first-round pick defensive end. Jared Verse, great job changing direction. And just watch, like into the boundary, he's 260 pounds, but that was easy.
Top 3 defensive end in next year's draft, according to Mel Kiper, is Jared Verse with a sensational backstory. He was an undersized recruit at SUNY Albany and now one of the most dominant edge players in major college football. Short pitch on 2nd and 11 to Jordan, and Jordan only gets a couple of yards, unable to turn the corner fully.
So now if you're Louisville and you're Jeff Brom calling plays, you've got to find your #1 matchup, right? Who's going to win against man-to-man coverage? That's what you're anticipating right here. Florida State's not going to stop doing it because they've had success all game long. So Jamari Thrash all season has been that guy for this Louisville offense. He's been the most sudden, the most explosive. There's a time that he needs to step up right there and make a play.
He's been playing with a brace on his left hand, had surgery a few weeks ago. Third and 8. They're going to run option. Jordan on the pitch, and Jordan's going to have the first down for the Cards.
That's a really nice design in the speed option. We talked about that being a changeup. They're going to put Patrick Payton on and on. They're not even going to block him. They're just going to attack him, force him to commit, and then pitch it outside. Really nice job. Into the boundary. You see this once or twice every game from Louisville's offense, and Jordan with the speed to the outside.
Now they go reverse to a flea flicker. Back to Plummer, and he's got to go underneath to a screen, and they do so with Coleman, who spins free for a first down and more. Did he stay in? Extra yardage, Kevin Coleman. A little razzle-dazzle and a flag at the end of it.
This is my new favorite trick play in college football. It's the double pass screen. Everybody's thinking you're throwing it way down the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, #1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
It's Jamari Thrash who's going to get called for holding on that, and that's a big mistake for Louisville's offense. But look at all these linemen getting out to the left. And right now, everyone on Florida State's defense is thinking he's throwing a post, he's throwing a go. We got to turn around and go locate where the guy is. Really, he's just throwing a simple screen with about 5-0 linemen out in front of it. You saw Thrash just get caught up there on the outside. We're going to get Spentrell Cypress, a little push, and then a little grab. He didn't need it in the back of the jersey.
They're going to spot it at the 40-yard line and a first down from there. Going to throw back to the screen, tunnel it to Thrash, and Thrash gets to the outside past midfield as he is brought down by Brown.
And that's a great way to get him the ball, right? We talked about him being subtle. Little misdirection, rolling out to the right, get the fast flow of Florida State going the same way, and throw the screen to the other side of the field for the Georgia State transfer to just go to work. A lot of creativity here from Jeff Brom in this first drive in the second half, Joe.
All of a sudden, a burst of offense from Louisville. 11 yards from Thrash.
False start. Offense, #1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's Thrash again.
This is like the good and bad, right?
Yeah.
There was a holding penalty on the long trick play, and then you do a nice job on the screen getting the first down, and then a false start. You've got to dial in.
And that was the point of emphasis this week of just, don't do it to ourselves after what we did last week against Kentucky.
This defense, Joe, the margin of error is so small. Yards are hard to come by against the Seminoles.
Plummer on first down. Verse He gets past him, and then Plummer scoots out of bounds.
A good idea by Plummer, running the ball against man coverage. A lot of people in Florida State's back end here are chasing receivers. They've got their eyes turned, and they're not looking at number 13. So he realizes that when he sees the lane, he's a good enough athlete that time to beat Verse to the sideline and go get positive yards. Good decision by the 6th-year quarterback.
High formation on 2nd and 8 with Jordan behind Martin. Play action off a bit, but here come the Noles. Plummer able to get it complete to Martin, the fullback.
He's a 260-pound battery ram. They barely ever throw him the ball. I think everybody from Florida State, when they saw him come in the game and get in a 9 formation, and they're thinking, okay, it's lead block. Deloach is getting ready to take on a hit, but he's able to kind of sneak out. Nice escapability that time by Plummer. Not a perfect throw, a nice grab by the 260-pound big fella.
Plummer. Ball is batted away by Renardo Green. He was looking for Thompson.
And he's been so good all year for Florida State. Think back to that first game against LSU. He's up against Malik Neighbors. I'm not going to say he shut him down, but he controlled him against the leading receiver in the country. There's some holding there going on for sure, but the referees are letting these guys hand fight in the back end. Heck, it's another one you easily could have called PI. But if they're going to let that one go, then on the flip side, they've got to give that to the other offense, too.
That also our rules expert was just chiming in saying, I think that may have been PI.
I do, too.
2nd and 10. There's the quick strike on the slant to Thrash, and another first down for Louisville.
That's one of the few times that Florida State has dropped out playing zone and have given these guys some access. You see that time? It's Renardo Green bailing out, and a nice decision there by Plummer.
And now some tempo out of Louisville. Jordan straight ahead just a yard that time. Patrick Payton with the tackle. And what do we have here now? Well, all of a sudden Louisville in range to tie this game or take the lead.
We've seen them do some nice work in their second half adjustments here in recent weeks. Last week we had their game against Kentucky. First drive of the second half, they went 15 plays for 9 minutes and 10 seconds. And all of a sudden here, their first drive of the second half, throwing the ball to Thrash more. We've seen some creativity, getting into a rhythm.
Longest drive of the night for Louisville, 10 plays, 48 yards. There's Jordan out of the backfield, and Jordan will take it down.
It's just a good,
20.
quick decision by an experienced quarterback, getting through his progression and finding the check down fast. The quicker you get it to Jordan, a running back, out in space, the faster he's going to be able to turn upfield and do something positive.
3rd and 2. Texas to Tuscaloosa and beyond. There are a lot of folks interested in what Louisville can do here. 2 tight ends in on the right side on 3rd and 2. Jordan straight ahead. He is stonewall. He is short of the line to gain. As the defense with Byron Turner and Braden Fisk able to make the tackle. 4th down.
You got to kick the field goal here if you're Jeff Brown. I mean, you haven't had any opportunities to put points up on the board, so you got to pay off this drive and trust your defense that has been playing so well in this game.
And it'll be Brock Travelstead with a shaky week against Miami, then bounced back last week against Kentucky, on for a 36-yard attempt to try to tie this game. And with that, we are tied. A 12-play drive for Louisville. Brand, don't worry about it.
I know where I'm going to be on January 1st.
Hey, tomorrow's the Jimmy V Women's Classic.
Wildcat setup here for Florida State offensively. Toafili's behind center, yep.
Toafili's had some success earlier tonight as he will run it again and gets a good block to break free. Lawrence Toafili, could he? Here he goes. And they push him out inside the 10. But a big chunk play for the Noles.
What a fantastic job. Dimitri Emmanuel pulling, Darius Washington at left tackle pulling, both getting critical blocks on this delayed power. Phenomenal. Great patience. The hole opens up. Toafili puts his foot in the ground and shows off the speed.
And they're going to stick with it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Joe?
Well, Brock Glenn, the true freshman quarterback, not going to need him if Toafili's doing stuff like this right here. Touchdown, Florida State. That didn't take long.
That time it's Keandre Jones at guard, kicking out Stephen Herron up front. The big fella just getting a nice block and setting a crease for Toafili. He's really doing a nice job allowing these things to set up before getting north. If you're Florida State, you got to keep running the Wildcat.
This is the other thing that people have pointed to here in Charlotte, trying to cap this wild 24 hours of college football championship play.
And that's what he's talking about, being able to answer.
Plummer being chased by Fisk again and just has to burn it. You saw the wheels from Mike Norvell. Remember, Mike was a wide receiver at Central Arkansas and is in their Hall of Fame. He broke the school record, had 213 career receptions. He says, I can still run. I still got the wheels.
They could use him right now, too, down the seam. Some of these zone coverages. But right now, his team, his defense now has to answer. When the offense puts points up like that in a touchdown, now you've got to take control, get off the field, and get it back to the O.
Plummer on second down to the near side, gets it complete to Thrash, who spins for an extra yard against Thomas.
Watch this route by Jamari Thrash outside. We talked about him being sudden, his ability to cut on a dime. He's working one-on-one against Thomas. Stop route. Thomas can't even stay up. He just breaks his ankles. He needs to get more touches, Joe. That's the guy that's winning. There's been no separation in these routes except from number one. If you're Jack Plummer, he's got enough experience to know if it's working, man, I'm just going to keep going back to the dudes that are winning.
The varied run scheme of Louisville back to the I formation with Garendo and Martin. And here is Garendo, and Garendo is wrapped up by Akeem Dent.
Well, they go with a delayed lead draw. It's an NFL run, and Akeem Dent came on the safety blitz. Inside, it was Byron Turner, who got hurt earlier in the game, able to make his play as well. Joe, Louisville's not getting enough on first down. They're making these drives difficult. They're only averaging 3 yards on each first down. They've got to be more productive early in the drives.
Especially against an elite defense like this. Trying to stay on schedule if you can. 2nd and 11. Can they get out of the hole? Threw it behind the intended target. He was looking for Josh Lifson, the senior tight end.
That's a throw Jack Plummer would like to have back. With the miss now, what does Jeff Brown dial up on 3rd and long? And how are you helping out your tackles against Jared Verse and Patrick Payton? Right now, Isaac Garendo's in there in the game. Looks like he's going to be lining up to the left side. That's usually where Jared Verse lives, on the left side of the offensive line.
3rd and 11. Verse is in that three-point stance. They're bringing a safety blitz as well, but he is able to get it off, and it's incomplete. Just a little too high for Thrash as Thomas was there with coverage.
Well, he tried to keep a tight end in and a running back in on the other side to chip the ends to give Plummer enough time. Good coverage by Thomas on the outside against Thrash, and the defense does their job. You've seen the offense go 2 plays and score a touchdown. The defense now getting the football back. It's good complementary football.
7th punt of the night for Brady Hodges. Remember, he had one off the side of the foot earlier. Outside the numbers, where Coleman has to field it.
He could stay on the sidelines tonight and not go up to a sweep. He's still connecting with his teammates, supporting them, and they'll tell you they're not just doing this for him, they're doing it with him, guys.
That's a good point, and it's a big difference. That ball was deflected, nearly intercepted by Alderman. Brock Glenn, of course, the starting quarterback. Tate Rodemaker got the start a week ago, but took the big hit.
It's another bad decision, though, by Glenn. That they're getting him on the perimeter. They're just trying to give him easy throws here. He's got Johnny Wilson in the flat. You just got to give it to him now, and now, or now. And he takes his eyes off of it and forces it over the middle of the field. Very lucky this wasn't intercepted. I mean, that could almost have been picked by 2 different guys. Alderman knocking it to the ground.
We're back to the Wildcat formation as Glenn has split out. Toafili, this is where they've had the most success tonight. They run GT counter with Toafili, and it goes for 3 yards.
But now Brock Glenn's got to come back in under center, right?
Right.
3rd and long in this kind of situation. And, they try to throw it over to Johnny Wilson in the boundary one-on-one in these spots. Try to give him easy, clean looks.
3rd down and 7. Four-man rush against Glenn. That ball should have been intercepted. Every which way, it could have been in the hands of Ben Perry, but he dropped it.
Wow. And we talked about just how one turnover could completely change the complexion of this game. That was a gift from Brock Glenn. Good pressure coming off the edge. I think that affected the throw a little bit. He was trying to go back shoulder to his tight end, but that's a play Ben Perry has got to make on Florida State's side of the field.
6th, 3 and out, 7th punt. Coleman fields it at the 32 with the fair catch. Comparable, they'll use tiebreakers, and winning a conference title is one of them, but so is head-to-head results. And Texas has that big notch as he goes underneath and is able to get it complete to Kariski, the tight end. So here we have this situation where, yes, Florida State is undefeated. Yes, Florida State could take a crown tonight, and no Power 5 undefeated conference champions ever been denied. But you have to look and assess and apply that word for best team.
Florida State's offense doesn't look like one of the 4 best.
Their defense does.
Their defense certainly does. They're shutting down right now a very good Louisville offense.
2nd and 5. Jordan trying to get that extra leg drive, but he is pushed back by Daniel Lyons.
Like, you're seeing the NFL talent that Florida State has at every level, all across the board defensively. The speed they have, the job they've done recruiting and in the portal, experience, and they're dominating. Louisville has averaged 33 points a game this year. They were getting 6.6 yards a play. That's top 20 in the nation. But they've gotten absolutely nothing against the Noel defense. So part of the eye test, and you talk about this team without Jordan Travis, offense obviously has major issues, but this defense is playoff caliber, no doubt.
3rd and 2. Plummer downfield wanting more than 2 as he looks to thrash. And that is incomplete coverage from Green.
Wow, Green was on the coverage. He tried to turn his head to locate the ball. He missed it, and it actually fell into the belly of Thrash. He just wasn't able to make the catch. He's trying to kind of give him a 50-50 ball right here. Look, Green kind of turns around, doesn't find it, and it's there for the taking. Nice coverage on the outside, and Jack Plummer finds himself back on the bench very quickly again. Florida State's defense continues to play well.
This weekend is the only time that all 13 members of the selection committee are watching the games together. They're sitting back watching this broadcast, trying to assess Florida State. Keep it on the ground, and they do so with Hill.
Well, Joe, there's so many factors they're going to take into consideration. Number 1 is precedence. You've talked about it. No undefeated Power 5 has ever missed. That 0 in the loss column has to mean a lot. From a resume standpoint, if they win tonight, it's pretty good. I mean, 3 top 25 wins, 2 against top 15 teams, 8 wins against bowl-eligible Power 5 teams. That'd be most in the country. You've seen the talent on defense. But you also have to factor in X factors as well, like injuries, what they've had to overcome all year long on the offensive line. If they were to beat a top 15 opponent tonight with a 3rd-string true freshman quarterback, that's got to count for something.
Glenn on the sprint right, but he puts it into the ground in front of Johnny Wilson's feet.
On the flip side of that, you've got a Texas team that has looked very dominant now in these last couple weeks. Who went to Tuscaloosa and won by 10 points against Alabama. The SEC champion, who just beat the #1 team in the nation.
Are those the 2 best wins in college football this year? What Texas did on the road, what Alabama did today?
No doubt. So there's so many different factors and variables to consider if you're the committee, based on what happens here tonight.
And we still got a lot of ball to be determined in just a one-possession game and a 3rd down and 5. Brock Glenn back to pass, A-gap pressure. They pick it up over the middle and incomplete. Morlock had his paws on it but couldn't put it away.
It was one of the few times we've seen Glenn throw on time. He was able to hitch. That ball came out quickly, put it on Morlock's body. In the back end, Jarvis Brownlee, though, the ex-Seminole, nice job with coverage, getting the right arm in and knocking it away.
Mike Norvell watching Brownlee, who was an 11-game starter at Florida State, now come up with plays for Louisville. 7th 3 and out for Florida State. Their 8th punt. Mastromano kicks it away. Fair catch at the 41 by Coleman.
This feels like a big moment.
Turner will get the work, and he catches a wide-open gap. Maurice Turner, and Louisville is in position to try to tie this game as a helping hand with the photographer on the far sideline. 46-yard run for Maurice Turner.
One-on-one blocks up front by Tyler at left tackle and Michael Gonzalez here at guard, and that creates the hole. Turner's the 3rd-string running back, but he's dynamic because of his speed and what he can do in the passing game. We haven't seen much in it. Haven't called his name very much in this game, Joe. But there's the big play they needed on a 1st down. Completely flipped the field and now knocking on the door.
Plummer. He's going to run behind his tight end, Lifson. Final minute here of the 3rd quarter.
It's a really good decision there by Plummer because he's got Lifson in the flat, but Deloach is going to take that away. So he's not hesitating. Right now, I'm going. I'm just going to get what I can get against this man-to-man defense. Everyone's got their back turned to me, and I'll just put us in a position here, 2nd and short, down in the red zone.
Big fullback Dwayne Martin is in the game. Turner's the featured back, slightly behind Plummer on 2nd and 3. To the end zone, incomplete, trying to connect with Thrash.
Bernardo Green on an island again, just shutting it down on the outside. Press coverage, they're going slant into the end zone, just no window. A little bit of hand fighting, but we've seen the referees let that go here in the 2nd half. Plummer trying to put that football out in front of his receiver to make a play. That's good coverage, man. Swatting it away with the left hand.
3rd and 3. Brown getting the call in. Play clock down to 2 seconds for Plummer. Going to run speed option. He's going to keep it, and he's going to get the 1st down. It is 1st and goal, Louisville.
They've run the change-up speed option twice in this game. Into the boundary. Both times it has worked. I know Jack Plummer's not a guy that people are used to seeing make plays with his legs. He ran it 11 times last week in their loss against Kentucky. And his legs are becoming a factor late in this one.
We have Louisville marching.
Coach Norvell, Louisville's knocking on the door. What do you got to see from your defense here?
Just got to bowl up. I mean, they've been on the field a good amount of time there in the 3rd quarter. Kind of got winded there at towards the end of the quarter. But this is where we've been our best. We got to hold up, got to fight strong, and we got 15 minutes to go try to win the ACC Championship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
An ACC Championship. That is what's on the line here as we start the 4th quarter in a one-possession game with the underdog team sitting on a 1st and goal. Turner, nowhere to go at all. Payton and Brown on the tackle.
That's a good point. Mike Norvell talking to Katie just now. His defense has been on the field for 11 minutes in that 3rd quarter. They're playing a lot of snaps during the 2nd half. So are they going to tire out? You see some guys now putting their hands on their hips a little bit. And what's the stamina? You see a big mass substitution for Florida State trying to bring in fresh bodies here with their backs against the wall.
Crowded for Thrash. flag comes down as Thrash is thrashed by Fisk and lost yardage. So they reverse course, and it goes in the opposite way.
Trying to get some trickeration on the reverse there, but they got a holding on Nate Kariski on the left side.
Holding, offense number 85. Doesn't decline. Defensive take this up to play. Third down.
They're trying to get Florida State's defense to flow that way and then bring it back to the other side, but there was penetration up front. And that was the big difference. Florida State's defensive line, they have just been a handful for Louisville.
They have been up for the challenge of understanding. Tate Rodemaker is supposed to be the starting quarterback in concussion protocol. Unable to go tonight, of course, would be clearing protocol in time for beyond this. So the freshman quarterback, his limitations, and Adam Fuller's group has been dominating. Now 3rd and goal. Plummer looking for anything. Flag is down as he lofts it out of the back of the end zone.
It's going to be Brian Hudson at center getting a hold on Joshua Farmer.
Holding, offense number 61. Penalties decline. 4th down.
That's the ACC's most outstanding blocker at center for Louisville, and no matter who Florida State has lined up on him, it's been very hard for him to play clean. And that just speaks to the talent Florida State has up front. Just look right in the middle of the screen. There's a little game right there. He's just kind of holding on. He's not letting him go, And Farmer puts his hands up in the air to get the referee's attention, and it works. Nice job stepping up there by Plummer. They're just not clean up front on the O-line right now.
The Travis comes back in. Made from 36 earlier. This from 33. To cut into the lead, and it just sneaks inside the upright. Pac-12. The deliberations will be ongoing until tomorrow at noon, where the show begins, as they're going to kick this short. Fair catch at the 20-yard line. Is if teams are comparable, then we go to the tiebreakers. Head-to-head, strength of schedule, common opponents. They're all laid out. Benson on the carry here, as is the one that they lean on the most if teams are comparable, and that is winning a conference championship.
How much does the 0 in the loss column matter to the committee for Florida State? Yes, they've got struggles on offense, but there's head coaches on that committee, former coaches and ADs, who understand in college football it's hard week in and week out to win.
The calls for the argument started coming in a few weeks ago when Jordan Travis got in.
That's right. Exactly.
Now Rodemaker, the backup, unable to go. Left with Brock Glenn, true freshman in his first start. 2nd and 6.
There's a blitz 0 look, and it looks like Brock Glenn's audibling.
They're going to back out of it as the whistles came in before the snap.
And it's an interesting cat and mouse game right now.
To lead game.
Maybe because of the inexperience, it just takes them a split second longer to realize what the coverage is and then get it communicated to everybody to switch it up. Ron English, you see him right there calling plays defensively for Louisville. He has been aggressive. He has stayed aggressive. He's always been one step ahead of Mike Norvell calling plays for Florida State's offense.
How about the opportunity for this Louisville team? Just trailing by 4. First-year staff who comes in, Jeff Brom and company, as they're going to go with the Wildcat again on 2nd and 11. This time it's Benson. It's been Toafili, but it's a direct snap to Benson. And Benson is going to go ahead for 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, Louisville's changing their defense now. When they see Benson or Toafili, anybody in the Wildcat, safeties are getting down way closer to the line of scrimmage. They're not afraid of these guys throwing it over their heads. They're not going to let these linemen pull, these slow developing blocking schemes open up lanes. They're just going to go attack and play downhill.
Do they put it in the hands of the freshman quarterback here on 3rd and 8? Here's Glenn. And they sack him again. 4th time tonight that Louisville has taken down Brock Glenn.
There's another bare look by Louisville up front. Everybody is covered, and it's the man lined up right over center that's able to loop around everyone. Everyone's covered here. This is the winner. stunts in games, showing one look, bailing out to another. I think it was Lole getting the sack. As Norvell's talking to his true freshman quarterback, trying to settle him down at a critical time in this game.
Jesse, their 8th 3-and-out. Mastromanno! They come after him and they get him! Special teams surging in against the punter.
Turnover, a play on special teams might change this thing. It's coming right here. They weren't able to get it blocked. Gilbert Frierson, a third down specialist on defense, gets home. And Bevo and Big Al are popping and locking right now.
Huh. Could this fourth quarter and that play shape how the selection committee goes? And now a golden opportunity as they take over on the 12-yard line. Play action. Plummer to the end zone. What a catch! Are they saying touch? No! Incomplete, they say.
They had Kariski, the tight end, one-on-one. He's running a wheel route with Tatum Bethune at linebacker. Plummer gives them a chance. He puts it where only his guy can make the play. It's a high point.
Wood on the field is an incomplete pass.
Kariski had that for a moment, and then Bethune came away with it. Watch Kariski. He's got it there, hits the ground, and Bethune rolls away with it, so the completion of the catch didn't fully happen by just a millisecond.
And I think Bethune actually had possession, but he was already out of bounds. I'm not sure the football actually touched the ground after he rolled over. This is an incredible play, ripping it out with the right arm. Kariski doesn't have possession.
I mean, the ball's laying on his chest as he's in the end zone. The next thing you know, Bethune's rolling over him to disrupt and dislodge the ball. Bottom line, it's 2nd and 10. Jordan trying to get around the right edge, and he can just get 1.5 yards. It was Bethune again chasing with Thomas.
So this play just feels massive right now, because if they don't score a touchdown without Florida State's defense is playing, I don't know if a field goal is going to get it done for Louisville moving forward. They've got to think about who's going to win here. And one place that Plummer keeps going to is Jamari Thrash out on the boundary. Can Jeff Brom move him around, maybe put him in the slot in a different position to allow him to work the middle of the field or find him a favorable matchup? Right now they've got him in the slot. They've taken him away from the boundary. He's lined up right here inside.
3rd and 9. 4-man rush against Plummer to the end zone this time, and it's intercepted by Bethune. He made a great play earlier and comes up with the pick in the end zone. The Florida State defense does it again.
A clinic by Bethune in coverage against these tight ends. We saw the great play against Kariski a few moments ago on 1st down. Here's Joey Gatewood. He's running a post down the middle of the field. Bethune's just going to run with it. He locates it. He gets his head turned around. The ball is thrown behind by Plummer, and that is a massive turnover in the end zone. The biggest play of the game.
After special teams came up huge for Louisville, after the punter was taken down, and Bethune saves the day with 10 minutes to play. Feely, he gets free and goes ahead. Close to that line to gain 10 yards there, tackled by Menkins.
You know, interceptions have been a problem for Jack Plummer this year. They've thrown 11 coming into the game. That's number 12. Oftentimes they've come at inopportune moments, and he knows that was a big one. It's critical right now for Florida State's offense, Joe. They've got to get a little drive going and stay on the field. Their defense has played a lot of snaps in the second half. They just got to create the big turnover, but they need time on the sideline to get their win back. So Brock Glenn's got to mastermind something here.
Feely straight ahead, and look at that speed, and then lowers the shoulder for 5 more yards. 1st down, Knowles.
And you love this as a head coach and a play caller when you're watching your offensive line take over in the 4th quarter when it matters most. You know Louisville knows the run's coming, right? true freshman quarterback who's had some struggles. They know this is coming downhill. You got Toafili out in the slot. You motion him in. You hand it off. But the big fellas up front that have been fighting injuries all season long, they're making their presence felt.
That was an excellent seal by Darius Washington for that 15-yard run. Benson goes nowhere. Benson tackled for a loss by Cam Kelly.
Yeah, Cam Kelly coming off the edge on a safety blitz, highly recruited out of high school. Georgia wanted him, Ohio State wanted him, Florida State wanted him. Committed to UNC and then transferred to Louisville, and he's been a big-time player, especially against the run in the secondary for Louisville.
3.5 to play. ACC Championship on the line. Undefeated season. College football playoff on the line. 2nd and 11. Benson just backs his way for a couple of yards. Third and 9. The young Brock Glenn. Can he convert? Tried to go and connect with Coleman, but it is incomplete. Time and again, the struggles on third down.
I got to be honest. I'm impressed because I wasn't sure if Louisville at corner could match up with Coleman and Wilson. These one-on-one type throws because of their frames and their size. But they've done that. They've been physical on the outside in the secondary, winning those matchups.
See what kind of protection they give to Alex Mastromano here, the punter. 7.5 minutes to play. They got to him last time. As he punches it downfield. And Coleman the fair catch at the 14-yard line. Plummer pulls it. Plummer wanted to take a shot downfield, and then he just throws it away as it was traffic and disruptive with that front of Florida State. They said they want a penalty.
That might be intentional grounding. I don't know if Plummer was outside the pocket.
I don't think he was outside the tackle box at all.
Yeah, and there was nobody in the vicinity.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 13. Lost it out to spot the foul. Second down.
Matt Austin, our rules experts, nodding his head saying that is the right call as the rain comes down here in Charlotte.
Yeah, you see him kind of play fake here, just sort of set up a little bit of a bobble there. You know, it's starting to rain now, so the ball's getting slippery, but he never got outside the tackle box, and there was nobody there, so that's an easy call to make. These Florida State fans, man, they're feeling it.
Boy, have they asked a lot of their defense tonight, and has their defense over-delivered.
Time and time again,
yes.
Right? Nothing more like on that last drive. After the turnover on downs and then getting the pick in the end zone, but how much more do they have left?
And came in knowing they had to have this kind of game. Plummer from his own end zone. Can he escape it? Yes, the ball is past that goal line, but he is brought down again. It's the third time he's been sacked. This time it's Peyton.
Yeah, Peyton and Verse. We talked about this. When it's third and long, it's this guy going here and it's this guy coming here, and there's really nothing you can do up front. This is just not where you want to be. Everything constricts and collapse. And on top of that, we got Fabian Lovett pushing the pocket back into his lap. So I guess the defense still has some left in the tank, Joe. They're still playing at such a high level with such a small margin of error.
3rd and 23, just going to get the ball out quickly to Thrash, and Thrash gives them a little bit of breathing room out to the 10-yard line.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it in this game. Florida State has not turned it over. They only have 2 penalties, and their defense is playing unbelievably well. And to your point, they knew they had to do this with Brock Glenn in the game, getting his first career start in an ACC championship against the top 15 opponent. This defense, Adam Fuller, a D coordinator, has to be so pleased with what he's seeing.
Jordan Travis looks on. They're going to have to scatter with this low punt and then gets to the 49-yard line. That's not the real world.
It's like Sesame Street. What do you say? One of these things is not like the other.
First down, Florida State trying to close out this game. Trey Benson is going to help that cause. Look at the tough run for a first down under 6 minutes to play.
And you can put this thing away if you're Florida State and you score a touchdown here. It feels like this is ball game. And you got to love how this Florida State offensive line has just imposed their will here in the fourth quarter. Closing in on 150 rushing yards now. It's been wildcat. It's been conventional handoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Brock Glenn maybe carried himself a few times. You do whatever it takes to win this game.
First down run, Benson again, and here he goes inside the 20.
Pulling lineman, guard tackle. That's the bread and butter run play for Mike Norvell. You got to pull this, and then you got to get a seal here by your center. And Maurice Smith, who's playing banged up, does a nice job. Creating creases. They get Benson in the second level. Hasn't happened often tonight. It's been happening a lot during the season. If you're Florida State, just let the time tick away and keep running the football.
21-yard run from Benson. Go at that play clock and your head coach, and you milk this thing. You try to bring it in for a nice landing and an undefeated record in the conference championship. You know, I just mentioned Greg Sankey from the SEC. Jim Phillips, the commissioner of this conference, the ACC, had a great visit with us before kickoff, and he reminded everybody, he said, listen, 10-7 combined record ACC against the SEC and Big Ten, 6 wins over the SEC, and a big strong emphasis on the point of precedent of history with the College Football Playoff Committee. No undefeated Power 5 team has ever been left out. But this is a different year with different teams, with Texas and Alabama looking as good as you can look, with Bama having the best win of all. Brock Glenn takes it ahead for a yard and a half.
Such a good play there by Mason Reiger on the outside. Louisville, it's getting desperation time here. They need to get the football back, and they cannot allow a touchdown at this point. Florida State's in field goal range. It's okay to give up 3 because you're going to give Jack Plummer one more opportunity to march the field, score a touchdown, potentially take this thing into OT.
Well, then here's the defining play as Jordan Travis looks on. Had successful surgery here in Charlotte this week. 3rd down and 8. Glenn looks left, looks right, comes back, and that is blown up, and the ball is out. But what a big hit on Toafili. As Quincy Riley right in the midst of it.
There's Quincy Riley. Remember, they were looking for targeting early in the game. They left him in, and this is why. He can make impact plays like this. It was big that he was able to stay in. Reads the screen, sniffs it out, and that is just a blow-up shot on Toafili. And Louisville's defense gets the stop they needed on 3rd down.
And to your point, you can give up the 3 and still put it in the hands of Louisville quarterback Jack Plummer. They're going to take a look and see, was this a completed catch and then a turnover? Was the ball out? We will show you that as this play is officially under review.
Here's the Toafili there. He's kind of getting spun around. I don't know if he ever had full possession of it by the time he hit the ground. And once he did, the ball popped out. I don't think that was a catch.
Matt Austin, our rules expert, says it should not be a catch, as he never put it away and had firm control through the process.
And that was perfect timing. You can't get there any better than Quincy Riley did to jar that ball loose. Obviously.
After further review, the run on the field is an incomplete pass. Please just set the game clock to 3 minutes, 15 seconds, 3-1-5. We'll start on the snap.
And he drills it on through. Advantage with 3:11 to play in the game. Jordan can't find much. We've never said, will a team be celebrating in the playoff when they're an undefeated Power 5 conference champion? But this is the most unique of years, as this 4-team system will be going away. We'll have the 12-team playoff starting next year. And yet you sit back with Michigan and Washington, and then how impressive Texas and Alabama, those two teams were today, as that is drilled right at the line of scrimmage. Just love it was in the way of the passing lane, and now this Louisville team trying to have some magic late against Florida State.
Florida State substituting more D linemen, but they're leaving Verse and Payton at defensive end, and that's a good idea. We saw in the last 3rd and long situation, they just pin their ears coming off the edge. Louisville needs to have a plan. Tight ends and running back. They got a tight end to the left helping against Jared Verse. They got a running back to the right helping against Patrick Payton.
3rd and 7. Plummer. That is batted by Payton. He just found a little bit of space and got in that passing lane.
Well, he was smart, Joe, because he looped to the inside and he realized he wasn't going to get to the quarterback, so he just stopped his rush. Watch this. Loop inside. I'm not going to get there. I'm trying to pick a guy. Okay, I'm just going to stop, and I'm just going to basically now become a spy and knock this down.
And he's 6'5".
With long arms.
Yep.
205-pound linebacker when he showed up in Tallahassee. Now he's gained 35 pounds, and now he's terrorizing quarterbacks.
4th down and 7. Desperation time for Louisville with the ACC Championship on the line. Florida State trying to stay undefeated. Plummer on 4th and 7. Wrapped up and taken down by Fisk. Oh, as he had a night.
It's the same stunt and game we've seen up front that Florida State's been using time and time again. Jared Verse going to get the pick. Fisk going to loop around to the outside, and Louisville's offensive line, they just can't handle it. They don't pass it off. 2 linemen run into each other. It's been Fisk, it's been Verse, it's been Taylor, it's been Lovett. This is the best D-line in the ACC, and what a luxury it is when you can get home with just 4 guys. Jordan Travis, he sees it in practice, he knows about it. Mike Norvell is loving it.
And Prom knows it. And Barham's offense suffering 5 sacks and 12 TFLs. As they'll go Wildcat to put this thing away. Benson just probing that right side before he is driven back. 3 timeouts remain for Louisville.
I'm not going to lie. If I was Mike Norvell, I'd be thinking about scoring a touchdown here to win that game. That's what they're going to say. Of course, you know, you'll think back to the last time you saw a 3rd-string quarterback.
Ball start. Offense, number 48. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
In a conference championship game. Think about Cardale Jones going in for his first start for Ohio State in 2014. They had a loss, by the way, but they beat Wisconsin 59-0.
That's right.
And the committee just couldn't ignore that, and they put them in, and the rest is history. Of course, they won a national championship. I think the big question, again, it comes down to how much does 0 losses really matter to the committee? Because it's amazing Florida State was able to do that. And if they win tonight against the top 15 team with your 3rd-string quarterback, that's a big deal.
Benson on 2nd and 14 just gets a yard there. Louisville, 2 timeouts remaining per year with the tackle, and they'll use that other timeout. It's not going to be Brock Glenn who you see tonight. Here's another Wildcat snap to Benson on 3rd and 13. And the last timeout will be used by Louisville, so an opportunity, of course, for Fitzgerald. 2 of 3 tonight. And he just squeezes it inside the upright. They're going to have the conference championship unless something wacky happens. They're going to have the strength of schedule. Last year, that format we are dealing with 4 teams and this selection committee under these circumstances. Plummer again. And guess who? Jared Verse.
Last week against Florida, he took Damian George, the tackle, and completely walked him into the quarterback. He does it again right here. Like, you just shouldn't be able to do this to a 320-pound human being, but he does. And he does it every week.
That's sick.
That's a misdemeanor in some states.
Yeah. That is going to be on the film when they play the NFL draft and his name is called. That's unbelievable speed to power.
Right. It's the speed that scares tackles. They're kick-stepping and they're trying to kind of create an angle, and then he's just able to transition, get his hands in inside. Coming back for an extra year was massive for him for his draft stock and also potentially his national championship chase.
3rd and 3, complete to the Thrash. Couldn't hold on to it.
And Renardo Green has just been a beast outside one-on-one. He's been doing that all year. This is a playoff caliber defense. Everybody at home has to understand. It's not. There's no question.
As much as we have panned and we've talked about, and we have sat back and we've watched all these punts and all these lacks of third downs to come through, this defense has been the other end of the spectrum. They've been that good. They are superb defensively. Fourth down and 3. Plummer. Fisk is chasing him, and Fisk gets to him. The 300-pounder just closed down on Jack Plummer.
The 7th sack for Florida State's defense. Yeah, his future breakfasts are going to have shaved black truffle because he's going to be running on Sunday and he's going to be able to afford it. But I think one of the things the committee's going to think about is
it's what Florida State has done down the stretch of this season. They got through the rivalry game. Mike Norvell's 4th year at Florida State. And starts celebrating an undefeated season, an ACC Championship.
Coach Norvell, time and time again, your team finds ways to win. They gut it out. Why?
Because they're a team. They care about each other. These guys work 365 days a year to prepare themselves for these moments. I think their heart, their determination, the grit that they have within. I mean, this is a football team that's full of heart, and I just absolutely love them. I mean, it was just an incredible game. We're down to a true freshman quarterback having to make his first start. You had some guys that were limited, but man, our defense did an unbelievable job, stepped up. Just so proud of this football team and all they've been able to accomplish.
How much pride did you have watching your defense deliver for you and over-deliver at times?
Well, I mean, it was awesome, but I watched them practice this week too, and there was so much confidence in what we were being asked to do. Coach Fuller and his staff did an unbelievable job, and our players, it's all about them. I mean, they're the ones that go out there and they get it done. Just a special night for our football program.
There's going to be conversations tomorrow. You're an undefeated ACC champion. Why is this team deserving of playing in a college football playoff?
You know, there's a lot of great teams that are out there, a lot of talented teams, and you know, there's a lot of teams with ability. But a lot of those teams have the ability. They've shown the ability, and they've lost games. Right? This team has not. This team has responded to all situations. This team has fought no matter what the circumstance was. You know, they just continue to believe in who they were, and that's what football's all about. Right? You know, it's hard to win a game, right? But these guys have found a way in every situation. I'm just so proud of them and proud of all that they've accomplished.
Congratulations. I'll see you on stage.
Thanks so much. Go Noles.